Today we are talking about one of the most iconic name brands and models in the history of knife making. I'm serious. What is it? Let's take a look. All right guys, and welcome to knifeup.com, my YouTube channel. Thanks for checking us out and checking out what we have new for this week. Today we're talking about, oh man, you guys know this. If you're watching this video, you probably know this. It's one of the most iconic and well-known names in the history of knife making, literally. You guys know that Spyderco is, I haven't heard many bad things about Spyderco. Not to say every knife is perfect that comes out of the factory, but there's really not a lot of bad things that a lot of people say about Spyderco. It's just an overall a really good, solid quality brand. Today, we are talking about a knife called the Paramilitary 2. All right, this is not it, this is just a box. The Paramilitary 2 is sort of an upgrade to the previous version, Paramilitary. Makes sense, right? But what makes it different? What makes it so great? And why is it so iconic? Well, a couple of things. Let me just throw some information at you. Spyderco generally likes to say that they design in the dark. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that they screw up because they can't see anything. What it means is that the physical look of the knife, the aesthetics, the prettiness of the knife is secondary. It's not that important. Having said that, we kind of like the way pretty much all their knives look. So it's kind of an unusual thing to say, but that's their commitment to quality. What about this knife then? There it is, right there. The Paramilitary 2. I'm just going to give you my overall thoughts on it for starters, and then we'll get into some details. It's a really, really light knife, and it's really, really easy to open. You don't even really have to flick it with your wrist. You just kind of use your thumb. And by the way, I'm not one of these guys that knows how to flick open everything in the world and get all fancy with my knives, but this guy is really, really easy to open. And normally when you have something that's really easy to open like this, I found that it's kind of cheap. It's a really, really sturdy feel too. You know, when a lot of knives, when you grab the blade and you kind of shake it back and forth and hold the handle really tight, there's at least a tiny bit of play. It might not be a deal killer, but it's still a tiny bit of play. There is no play on this. Like as little as I've ever felt in a folding knife. So that is excellent. With the when you open it up, your fingers kind of fall very, very naturally on the choil. There's a really nicely designed finger choil here and a thumb rise that has some jimping on it. There's also some jimping on the handle itself on the top. So there's a lot of it on the back, and then also for your index finger on the choil. So that's kind of a really neat thing that we really like about this particular knife. We really like the clip too. It's a nice looking clip. It looks like some design, some thought has gone into the design of it. It's not just a straight piece of steel. It's really polished, and it just looks like it's been designed by somebody who cares about the look of the design. And it's been sort of remodeled better than the Paramilitary 1 to fit deeper in your pocket, the clip. And it's also a four-way adjustable clip. It's the first knife we've had in a while that's four ways. So you can carry it tip up, tip down, left and right. Excellent, excellent versatility there. It is smaller than the original Paramilitary, but for me, I like a knife even smaller than this for everyday carry, my everyday carry, right? I don't use a knife every day for lots of stuff. I like my everyday carry to disappear in my pocket, and that's why I carry a particular one that I do. It's not this one. This one I use when I go on any outing, camping, canoeing, fishing, hunting, boating, whatever the case is. This I carry. My regular everyday carry is a different knife. Anyway, that's just kind of my opening thoughts on this. Let's get into some of the specs. All right, so the blade length overall is 3.42 inches, and the overall length is 8.24 inches. That's right from Spyderco's website, but it's also what we measured here as well. So the weight of it is 3.75 ounces. The material of the blade is CPM S30V, which is excellent, by the way. The handle is G10 with a steel liner. It's got a compression lock, and the opening mechanism is a thumb hole, which is actually oversized on this particular model. And made in the USA. The blade itself is a full flat grind, and as far as the point on it, I would call it a modified clip point. It's just kind of a weird looking clip point, but overall excellent knife. I like the look of it. And as I mentioned before, the clip, right left carry, tip up, tip down, 4-way adjustable. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Right there and there. I'm probably holding this totally upside down, but honestly I can't even tell. Those two things right there, those two engravings, those are kind of signatures or symbols of the creators of this knife. So this knife is actually a dual, sort of a joint design between Sal Glesser, who is the owner of Spyderco, and his son Eric. So that's kind of, each one is one of their own individual kind of trademark symbols. All right, so there's just a bit of an overview on the Paramilitary 2. Just to kind of summarize, we really like the overall look of the knife. I mean, I'm not going to fight against thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that think this is probably the best EDC out there. I haven't found anything to really contradict that. I'm not just a yes man. I'll tell you if I think something is a piece of junk, or I'll tell you some of the problems with it. Not a lot of problems with this one, other than the fact that it's fairly sizable, and I mentioned earlier that I don't really like carrying it in my pocket too much unless I've got sort of, you know, I'm in the zone of being out in the wilderness, but not just when I'm walking around town and I'm in my car and whatever. It's a little tiny bit too big for me. However, it is very, very light and very, very sturdy, which is kind of an unusual combo to get in one knife. Usually if it's light, it's flimsy. If it's heavy and tough, well, that makes it sturdy. But this has the best of both worlds. So, well, that's kind of one thing that we really, really like. It's got quite a few improvements over the original Paramilitary. I also mentioned that earlier. It's a smaller size overall. It's got skeletonized metal inserts or liners in the handle. That's a huge upgrade. It's got the upgraded pocket clip, as I mentioned before. Bigger lanyard hole as well, which is always helpful if you don't want to just carry it with a little string, right? You can stick a lot of different things in there. It's got the double jimping on both the finger choil and the thumb rise. That's unusual. Usually choils don't have jimping. There's other things too, but I'm not going to waste all your time talking about all the differences. You can see it online, check it out, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just here to try to tell you whether this is a good knife to buy or not. The last thing I will tell you is that it is one of the absolute best knives to have if you can get it. Now, if you guys are into collecting, I mean, you already know this. I'm just telling you something I think you already know, but just for those of you who have been living under a rock and you don't actually know this, this knife is kind of a must-have, starting point, linchpin, cornerstone of your collection. Seriously, it is. So if you don't have it, I would try to find it. It's not that difficult. There's a few guys online saying, a couple of different websites, review websites, that say, oh, it's really tough to find, you'll never find it. Well, that's not true. Usually Blade HQ has them in stock, and you can find them on Amazon. You can see we'll have some links to where you can find it in the description below. But on our website, knifeup.com, we will have a full review of this knife. I'll be talking about some of the things that I've just talked to on the video, but in there will be links as well to where you can actually buy the thing. If you don't have it, get it. All right. I heard one guy say online, sorry, I'm stealing the line, but his line, but he says, if you can't, or if you can afford it, then you might want to get it as soon as you can. If you can't afford it, go buy it. I get it. All right. It's a good knife. Guys, thanks for watching. If this type of video, if this video itself has been any help to you, please do like and subscribe. It helps us to continue. I mean, you've heard it before, right? It helps us to continue to make these videos. It really does, because this video takes me like more than half a day to make. All right, I do a bunch of editing and shooting and retakes and all that kind of stuff, and I can't do that unless I have some money so that I can make some sort of an income so I can stay at home and make these videos. All right, so thanks very much for checking our video out. Keep in mind that I will be giving away free knives several times a year. All right, I don't know, I might even give the Paramilitary 2 away. I haven't decided yet, but we've already given one knife away this year, and I just started the YouTube channel a couple of months ago. We will be giving away quite a few more over the next year, so just make sure you keep stopping by, checking out our videos, and you'll find out, you'll see, it'll be in the title of the video somewhere that I'm giving away a particular knife. All right, so again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and check out any other details in the description below. Appreciate you stopping by, and until next time, stay sharp. Today we're talking about Today we are talking about one of the most iconic name brands and